Welcome to the BeMoHappy Show. I'm your host, Morris Chasson, confidence coach for bold introverts. Help introverts overcome fear and maximize their performance so they can excel in extroverted careers feeling good about themselves. In this episode, I have my friend Bun. She talks about her struggles with losing a child, all the series of events that happened afterwards, the wild stories. Bun is also, she felt called to do a podcast for like the past 2 years, working on the courage to actually get that podcast going now. Anyways, here we go.
Mm.
Oh man, I wish I had some tea.
Shout out the boo, because kudos to Kayla for letting me do this here. That I am so grateful for her getting comfortable in front of the camera, which is why I posted those videos today. I've been wanting to do them because I'm something special inside my car, you know, when I'm having my moment, and I've been wanting to do it. And I never have the nerve, right, like to post it, right? But
Wait, you posted some videos today?
Of me even singing, yeah.
Really?
Today I'm jumping. Today what's the date? October 3rd? Yeah. Jump. Posted the video. Said I was going to be on a podcast today. And here I am at said podcast. I'm nervous though.
That's awesome. That's some big wins.
Like a culmination of like a long time coming, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Man. Like, how do you feel on the inside about all that?
I feel overwhelmed today.
Overwhelmed? Wow.
Is there like a no cry clause on this thing?
No, absolutely not.
On this channel?
No, we're gonna cry together.
Should I start with like a trigger warning? Like
a trigger warning? Like what?
You know, just because, you know, like some people do that, like trigger warning when they go to speak about whether it be past traumas or whatever. They give a trigger warning to the guest, right? To the masses listening. Just in FYI, I may trigger you.
You are wild. You don't have to worry. Your message, I don't know what it is just yet. I know your message is gonna reach some good people, and you're gonna do just fine. Like I
know that. Look, I'm about to get choked up already.
Listen, choke it up, babe.
No, because this is what I do know, right? No, this is what I know.
This is you expressing yourself. This is good.
I know that I'm supposed to do this said thing. I've been knowing for a while now, right? Felt like I had to have it all figured out before jumping, right? And now this, and am I ready now? Am I like, do I feel ready? No way. You know, because again, I've always known this is what I'm supposed to do. I've known for like a minute now that I was supposed to share said story. I've known that for a while, right? But I've thought I was going to speak on it from like a past tense perspective, like as in healed already, right? And telling you about what it took to get here, right? Not knowing that I would be handed a very rough 2 years to refine me or however, right? And still be in the thick of it. Like in the thick of it. I haven't achieved said healed yet. I'm nowhere even close, right? But I know it's a process that I started a long time ago, and it's one that I want to see through, right? You know?
Yeah. You know, and look, you're doing the right thing by taking action and doing this today. You know?
I'm
showing up and doing it.
I'm so full of like right now, I don't know if I want to like cry or throw up or, you know, like
nervous, excited.
Yeah, but again, so much confirmation in knowing that this is what I should be doing, right? Mm-hmm. I had no idea weeks ago who you even were. Never did, you know, and this came to be. This is the God to honest truth. This moment right here, October 3rd. What time is it? 3:32 p.m. Bun and Mo, right? This is all made possible because I was vulnerable. I couldn't even pretend if I wanted to ended up here at the boot getting teased and it was broken. Had a terrible morning. I didn't know Kayla from a can of paint, right? And I just couldn't hold it in, and I bubble over because that's what I do, and I overshare, and I end up regretting oversharing sometimes, right? But it's what I do, and she listened, and it meant something to me, and I felt safe here, and they saw me through some very rough weeks, and in that, she's like, Bun, you should know Mo, right? And I was like, I have no idea who you even talking about, because I didn't. So again, weeks passed, and I walk in here one day, and you're here, and here we are, right? And again, it's because for weeks now, I've just been waking up in the morning and praying that the doors would open, and I would meet who I'm supposed to meet, and I would help who I'm supposed to help, to lead me to the people who need me, as well as the people whom I need, right? Now, recently you factor in the bowling alley. I know that's where I'm supposed to be because of the conversations that I have had in these last several weeks. One of the hardest months of my entire life. For the last 17 years, from August 29th to September 24th, I am different. My whole life changed during those days. So for 17 years, it's by far been the toughest week of my entire life, which is why originally when we scheduled, it was like 2 days after his anniversary, and I felt like I would be way too emotional to get the message across, because for a while I struggled with, as soon as I opened my mouth, I would start crying, and that complicates things because sometimes I just want to say it, not like sob the whole time, which is why I prayed for the strength today, because I didn't want to cry the whole time on this.
Look at you rocking this shit. Rocking it.
That healed version is somewhere deep in here, right? Mm-hmm. And I know it's a must that I get to her, right?
You know how you were saying earlier, like you feel like you have to be ready and have everything figured out.
Yeah, I'm not that.
Look, I'm a perfect testament with starting this podcast myself, as far as not being ready.
Yeah.
And not knowing what the fuck to do, because you seen before we started recording.
Yeah.
Like I had a bunch of fuck ups trying to make shit work.
It is trial and error, and I know that nothing happens overnight. I know, but at the same time, I'm willing to do the work. Same with my mental health, right? Like, I've been doing this long enough to know you have to do the work. Mm-hmm. You have to do the work. And nobody is going to do said work for you. Nobody.
Because nobody knows you like you.
I have been medicated, unmedicated, a whirlwind for sure as far as my mental health is concerned, right? But at the end of the day, the core things, right, is work, is acknowledging, right? And trying to, I guess I'm more aware, right? I'm more aware of what I do want to participate in, what I don't want to participate in. Before I would just go where whomever needed me. I can't, that's complicated,
So you're saying that, like, you started kind of like putting boundaries in place for yourself?
Yeah, that's hard for me. I've been a yes girl my whole life.
It's good.
Like, I do. It's who I
it.
am. It's who I am. And here in the last year, I've had to create some boundaries I never in a million years, and it hurt me to my core of where the boundary had to be placed, right? I've so much, like, again, 2 years ago, right? I knew this is what I was supposed to do. I don't even know what you want to call it. We had spoke about it before, I guess maybe an awakening, if you will, but I've been woke for a minute now as far as the Lord is concerned, right? And So just this moment, I can't even explain it. And for 3 days, I cried because I finally felt worthy, and that was hard for me. You know, that's crazy, right? Like 17 years is a long time, you know? Mm-hmm. Same like that this week, right? This week that I've dreaded my whole life for 17 years, my whole life changed that day. September 24th, 2006 changed to the core of me. I will never, ever, ever be who I was before that day, right? And so this year, though, it felt different. It felt different, and I felt guilty because it felt different. That's how I know I'm real. That's how you know you're crazy, okay? Because you're not crazy. I know I'm not crazy. But it felt different, and I felt guilty because it felt different.
I didn't feel different. Like
it just felt different. I didn't feel. There was a time when I would have like clawed my way to the cemetery on those days because that's my responsibility. He's my son, but it's where I left him. And for years, it was like this thing in my life. Like I had to get there. I would have walked some days if that's what it would have took. This year, I passed it up with a good heart. And when I got to town, I felt some type of way because there was a day when I would have never, ever drove down the bayou to my mom's house and passed in front of it and not stop. And this year I did. And that came with a whole lot, and I'm okay with not stopping. Why? Because nothing changes there, right? It's the same shit it's been for 17 years, okay? So I chose this year to not put myself through that. And I was able to go in the bathroom and pull myself together and stay at work. And that's when I see like the growth, right? Like that's when I see like I know the tools, right? I've been doing this mental health shit for 3 decades. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, that old?
Yeah, I'm that old. well, not even that I'm that old. It started that young.
Yeah.
Right? I am going to be 43 years old, Lord willing, next month. But when I was 9, before I even had a chance to even know who I was, my brother-in-law had ruined that for me.
It's hard to hear that.
He had introduced me to some things, right, that I should not have known.
And this is your brother-in-law, you said, correct?
Yeah, my ex-brother-in-law. Yeah, this was a long time ago. This was like 1980, like 86 to 89, because I endured for like 3 years before yeah. And all it did was blow my world up. Mine. He got like, don't do that again.
But you were the crazy one.
But I was the crazy one. Mm-hmm. Me. Yeah. I remember very vividly the prosecuting attorney screaming in my face while I was up there. I threw up. They literally handed me a garbage. I threw my guts up. And bad boy, I've been up and down with it all. Because right now I'm on like your freaking podcast when just had not even 4 months ago, I was in a very dark place. I'm not going to say the worst because unfortunately I do know worse than said state that I was in, but I was in a dark one. Sunk in and didn't even know the first step to get up. I couldn't even see. I went to the therapist. I'm like, dude, I cry every day because I don't have a job, but I can't get a job because I cry every day. Like I was sinking, right? And so I go to the doctor that I normally have seen. Okay, but it's just like a 5-minute deal. Everybody gets the same thing, like it. And so he gives me something and I start taking it and I feel it's so much worse. It's so much worse. 4 days, I literally, ooh, I felt like I was close to grippy socks, swear. So.
What's grippy socks?
Like the 5th floor. You know the socks they give you?
No, I've never been there.
Well, I mean, it's only, thank the good Lord, I've never been technically admitted. But yeah, I mean, you know, but then 5 years ago, I'm gonna be 6, I think, next month, I think, or 7. Anyway, I was robbed at gunpoint at work, and it affected me. It changed my life, you know. And so, and so it's been a series of just pivotal moments. The trick part. I've never said this out loud, and I'm gonna say it because. So the town, right? Like a lot of people knew where I worked. There was a video on Facebook. You know, the town knew there was a robbery at the place that I worked, and that I was the one working, and they knew who the offenders were because Homa's not big and everybody knows everybody, right? It was like crazy for me. Like I couldn't read the comments. It was such a wild time. But the hardest part was explaining. So like when I'm in the ambulance, right? I'm like overwhelmed, right? I cannot get myself together, and it was. So I was just trying to like get my breathing right. So by the time I make it to the hospital, the hardest part was explaining to the doctor, like I was freaking out, like not because it did happen, but like because it didn't, like because I was still alive. Like I felt so covered in that moment, right? Because the week leading up, right? It's my birthday week, the week of the robbery. I was kind of disgusted with where I was working. I was over it, right? So I get there that morning. It's the only day I worked that entire week, a Sunday morning, right? I get there and I'm like, I can't do this anymore, right? And so I grab a calendar, I figure out 2 more weeks so I can get 2 more checks before Christmas. And I took a piece of paper and I wrote my notice and I put what my last day was going to be, right? And so to make sure I couldn't take it back, I put it in the safe in the back room, right? So I couldn't get it back after that, right? Not even maybe, I'll give it 6 hours. I don't even think it was that long, but yeah. So I put 2 weeks notice in there, 6 hours, however many hours later, I had a gun in my face, right?
Oh, shit.
Leading up to that though, the week, right? I had a terrible week, but did really, really, really strongly feel like maybe my kids would have been better off, right? I had that thought that week. I did not. That's the honest to God truth, right? And so in the moment when it's happening, when said radical is screaming at me, bitch, you gonna lose your life tonight. He must have told me that like 5 times, right? In my mind, I'm thinking, this is it, because it's what I asked for, right? All week, I was like, I can't do this anymore. Maybe I don't even want to, you know, nobody knows that part. I've never publicly shared that part. You know, he didn't know what I had wished for that week, you know? He didn't know. And when it didn't happen, when I was still standing there whole behind that register, it was an overwhelming moment for me. And even that, again, I've worked on my mental health for a very long time. I knew that I had done way too much work to let that spin me. I knew I could not carry the weight of the robbery. I knew I couldn't, right? So again, Homa is not big, right? And so the next day, it turns out we know a whole lot of the same people. Everybody knows everybody, you know? So I didn't want no part of like sticking it to, you know what I'm saying? I felt like it was already done. What was going to happen was going to happen regardless of, you know, like it was already done. It was clear in the black and white. It was, you know, like.
You talking about the perpetrator? Like they knew who it was?
Like, yeah, they knew exactly who, the whole Homa knew who it was. The whole Homa knew who it was. Homa knows who it is, of their situation, and their mother was passing away. And me being who I am, I felt the need to pray for them, you know, because of the weight, you know, like, so I literally went to church and just left it there, got up and asked the congregation to pray for these said young people. And now I got fears I never had before. The triggers are my responsibility, I feel, right? So saying I've worked on it, yeah, I've worked on it, but it's not like it's not gonna cross my mind when I pass said place, right? Like today I woke up this morning, I knew I was gonna have an up, you know, and some days it's not that. Some days I wake up already down and it feels like a job to pull myself. I call it self-sabotage because that's what I feel like it is. So okay, so like
everybody does it.
Okay, so say I wake up down day, right? Sad bitch, okay? Can't pull it together. Crying all day, right? In my mind, by the end of the day, I feel entitled to comfort food as a reward for having said day. And I will then indulge and then wake up the next day and pay for it, be miserable for hours the next morning, right? And I know better, but it's a vicious cycle. And you know, it's been one that, you know, same with, okay, so like we were speaking about the bowling alley. Okay, but when I went in that day to put my application and how it was just so low key and just so what I needed, right? And then, so I don't hear from them for like a whole week, right? And so they call and they're like, hey, Bun, are you still interested in the bowling alley? And I'm like, I am, but this is where I am right now. And I literally just was my rawest self to these people. Literally was like, look, I was battling my mental health, went to get some new meds. It ended up, I broke out in hives. This is where I am. It's also the most emotional time of my life coming up, right? Like I make it known because it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I can't, you know, it is what it is. So I'm honest with these people. I'm like, this is where I am. This is what I'm struggling with. And they were so come as you are. And I knew that's how, I knew that's where I was supposed to be. And since then, right, the people I have met, the conversations I have had, I know it's where I'm supposed to be. Look, right?
There's nothing else out there in this world that gets people to talk their true feelings than alcohol. Because alcohol will have you fucking talking.
Who? I have, look, and I love that they feel safe enough to share that with me, right?
You got that energy, you know.
But it is people around you every single day carrying a hell of a load, and all the while is smiling and key, and deep down people are real life hurting, myself included, right? Mm-hmm. Now, mind you, I'm working on it, but had you have caught me, bro, and that's why this is overwhelming for me to be able to sit here right now and have this conversation with you. There was
a
couple months.
But you're not feeling overwhelmed right now, are you?
No, not right now. No.
Oh, about to say, no, you can't be.
No, when I first started, I felt so like, you know, but no. Mm-hmm. And again, a safe space, right? And that's all that I would want to create for people. And I appreciate the people who, listen, I have had some loads dump in the last 2 months, the people I have met, the conversations I have had. And afterwards, I'm just like, I am grateful though that they felt safe enough to share those things with me. And as crazy as it is to be able to say, I know.
If you could look at these people as your teacher, as far as lessons that you need to learn, yes. You know, like you could learn a lot about yourself and
but I'm trying.
Your triggers and how you respond to certain triggers.
I'm not perfect.
You have a journal.
Okay, so I used to. So I definitely.
I think journaling, like putting it on paper, like taking it out of here.
Yeah.
Putting it on paper. I think that's a form of detachment.
There's so much in here. There's so much in here.
So when you're starting a podcast, like it looks like
I don't.
It looks like you already set up to do one. Like we're here right now doing it.
We're here right now.
So now. If we're doing it here, like you could do it.
I know.
Too, right?
I already have several people who have offered to share their story. Okay, because that ideally that's what I would love to do, to be able to share mine, to give people the strength to share theirs. Now, not pressuring anybody to share theirs, because I realize a lot of people are not ready, may never ever be, and that's okay for me though. So I had some conversation in the week leading up to my son's death anniversary of people, and I know they mean well, insinuating as if I can be a voice of reason or give hope to, I don't, like, okay, like, yeah, okay, people that are struggling with said things that I know about, right? And they were like, Bun, you should reach out and, blah, blah, blah. And I felt some type of way because I am still a little broken inside. So I felt like, how dare you insinuate that I'm the blueprint to this shit or the example of what to be, because I'm not, right? And so I felt some type of way.
Bun, something I learned recently, as far as you helping other people.
Yeah.
In order to help those other people, you just basically have to be one step ahead of them. You know what I mean? Because you can help guide them to the better place where you're going. You know what I mean? Like, so don't think that you gotta wait till you're ready or wait till you're perfectly healed, because waiting like that, you're never
waited.
Fully ready.
Listen,
you paid your dues. It's time. It's time right now.
2 years ago, I knew this. I literally could hear it. Like, just talk to people. I knew then, right? I knew it was what I was supposed to do. It took time to just process all of that, and 8 years ago, the Lord gave me a son of my own. Now, I don't say that as like some sort of like replacement. No, there's a hole in me that is never going to fill, right? But I am so eternally grateful. And I be thinking about it like just at his baseball games, at his basketball games, like sitting there realizing like there was a time I prayed for this. And so I'm grateful that I'm aware that I could see it, This, I prayed for this. I didn't know how, I didn't know who, I didn't know what. I just prayed for the doors to open and the steps to be directed. And here I am, right? So a lot of work still to do, but a long way indeed.
Are you proud of yourself?
I am.
You should be.
I still got a long way to go. I
think that's.
I never thought I would live this long.
You got a big purpose. You got a big purpose, girl. Like
I know, like chosen, worthy, having a calling. That's heavy. That's complicated. So that too. Your kid passes away. People think you get rich. People think that. People think that, especially medical malpractice. People think, like, as soon as you say this happened, but the doctor's at fault, people instantly think you about to be rich. So we were like thrown into the whole lawyer deal because it was in fact negligence. And so all of this was happening without me, I don't know what's happening. And so before I knew it, I'm faced with all these things, and people was like, lawyer. And I did not want to hear that. After a series of certain events, it happens without me whether I'd have wanted to or not, right? Because it was clear in black and white, right? That he was neglected, right? So by law, auctioneer has to say something. So the same day, the day my whole life changed, before I could even leave that day, there's these panel of people who are like, we need to speak to you before you leave, right? So instantly I'm thinking like, oh my God, like as if I was at fault or something, right? Even though we had spent the last 21 days in the hospital, like out of 27 days, he was hospitalized for 21 of those, right? So I'm not knowing. My life I literally was like a walking I don't even know, right? Mm-hmm. To walk into this place and there's this big table of white coats and for this lady to look at me and say, before you leave here, there's some things you should know, right? And she was like, and I'm in shambles, right? And so at first she was quick to say like, it was by no fault of your own whatsoever. Please don't leave here thinking that. You did what you were supposed to do. You brought him to get medical attention. She was like, but this was a white coat mistake. She was like, that's exactly what this was. She was like, and if we would have gotten him just 24 hours ago, I could have saved him. It's already a thing. Before I leave the hospital, it's already a thing. Because Louisiana law, you have to survive like 24 hours after being transferred. He did not. So without any of my doing, it's already a thing. Okay. So they like, you need representation. A friend of a friend of a friend is like, I know this person in Atlanta. And for 5 years, I go and I do all of these recorded shits and reliving and all of
5 years?
5 years. After 5 years' time, I had reached a point where I was thinking like, maybe this was the silver lining, right? Maybe it would give me a chance to be able to take care of me and my kid for a very long time. Still living day-to-day life, I'm thinking maybe this is the silver lining. For one day to receive a call and the dude's like, the Atlanta guy is like, you're sitting down? And I'm like, yeah. And he was like, turns out the court date's been over. The Louisiana guy never showed up. So after 5 years of me pouring my heart out and having to constantly relive said thing, everybody just walks away. Everybody just walks away and turns out I can't do shit about it. Nothing. So, again, L's, and
that, it goes to show you how dirty politics is here, though. You know what I mean?
It's insane. At the end of the day, everybody takes L's. It'll be the person beside you struggling the most, and you're looking at it. She's so happy, but baby, talk to her.
I know plenty of people. Look, I think 95% of people are like that. Like you see them and like they look so happy and got it together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But once you get down and dirty and you talking to them, like getting to know them better, you're like, holy shit, this motherfucker struggles too. I would have never thought. Oh my God. You know what I'm saying?
So much.
Even like even like crazy successful business people. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, dude, like you got a multi-million-dollar company and you're struggling with like confidence issues. Mm-hmm.
People real life be sure. The difference is like I'm vocal and honest about mine.
Wait, hold up. You vocal and honest about yours. I'm just talking about like vocal, like how you said like the past 2 years.
Yeah.
You've been wanting to start a podcast, but you didn't.
I'm finding my voice now.
You got it now, huh? So when's that first episode coming out?
I don't know. I don't even know where to start. In talking about it, right? I have already had several people be like, I would love to tell my story. And so I already have like a few, because at the end of the day, I guess that's all I would want to hope to do is tell mine, to give others the strength to tell yours if they're ready. I don't know if I'm all the way ready to tell my whole life. I told damn near all of it right here.
You told a good bit. You told a good bit.
That's what I do. You know how many times I overshare and I leave and I'm like, oh my God, I should not have, like, I would just be like, blah, blah, blah.
Look, you know what? Like that stuff that you feel about oversharing, fuck that. Let it go.
I know.
I mean, look, sometimes
it's who I you know, it's who I am.
With certain people, it's okay to overshare. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With certain people, you don't want to hardly share that much with, because those people are going to use your shit against you.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So those,
I know.
But you know who to share with and who you can't. You know. So,
yeah.
But share your shit and be happy.
Yeah, I am. I'm sharing said shit right now.
Absolutely, you are. I'm proud of you.
So again, not healed, duh. On the way there, but I know I need to do the work. Like I know, you know, like
grief is a powerful thing.
It's complicated. It's complicated.
It's you have to heal from it.
And I see it in so many people.
Like
in fact, just the other night at the bowling alley, you know, I had to cut somebody off, right? And this family is like, you know, just don't give him a hard time. You know, he buried his mom today, right? And I was like, you know, grief is complicated. You know, I get wanting to drown your sorrows. Who wouldn't? I have always been like a nothing is by accident. It's not coincidence. Yeah, no. Especially when I know that I am literally praying for said people to be in my path. It would be foolish to pretend like I don't see it. And at the end of the day, that's what I'm grateful for, that now I can see it. For alignment, I'm praying for the right people to be in my life. I'm praying for the ones who are not meant for me to fall off. And I do pray like for the blinders to be removed. And I'm grateful that I see it, because I see it, you know, and that's a loaded thing though, you know. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I'm grateful for it, because there was a time when I couldn't see past, you know, really.
You know, Bun, you see that energy you got right here, right now? Like, that's the energy you should wake up with every day. And yeah. I'm not trying to tell you how to live. You do
this is the bipolaring.
No, look, you could wake up and like, man, like, what could I do to make myself proud today? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Just that simple little thing. And like, you be like, you know what? I do this.
Right? Like that's what I want to, that's what I really need to work on, right? Because for so long I was like just a wake up and just go with the flow kind of day. And you know, so I need to be more intentional about my days, right? But I need like a force field, you know, like a
like a shield around you, right?
Yeah.
I know that you're big on faith and religion. It seems
I am.
Okay.
But
have you ever conversated with like a spirit medium or anything like that?
No, I that freaks me out, and I no way. I never will do that. I will avoid it. Like, I'm weird about a lot of, I don't even watch scary movies, bro. So I'm weird about a lot of things. I've always been afraid of like that sort of thing, like mediums, tarot cards. That freaks me out. Even before I even knew, had a relationship with the Lord, you know, like even before any of that, it scared me from the jump. So no, I don't even watch scary movies. I won't even go walk in spirit Halloween, because I don't want anything to attach to me. I've struggled with my faith. Because guess what? Back in 2005, when I found out I was pregnant, right? It took me at first I thought it was the worst thing that was ever happening to me. And then I get all full, and my faith was strong. I was going to church. I was so full of the Lord at the moment, right? And so I go for my first ultrasound, and dude is like, your body is pregnant, but there is no baby, right? He was like, you're going to miscarry. Your body is naturally going to reject this, right? And I am like, I don't accept that. You know, I am pleading the blood of Jesus over me, and I just know that in 2 weeks when I come back, there's going to be a baby on the ultrasound. I did not accept what he had to say, right? And then guess what? When I go back in 2 weeks, there was no baby on the ultrasound, right? So, you know, there's this moment of, did my faith fail me? So I battled that, you know, like, so you know, banking on your faith, that's not the easy way out. In fact, it's the hardest. You know, now whether you believe in God or the stars aligning or whatever it is that you believe, know one thing, you know, you do good, you get good. You know, you sow good, you reap good. The old people, what goes around, all of it. However you want to, whatever spin you want to put on it, know one thing, you know, what you sow, you reap. And I just want to sow good seeds because I want to reap good. I want to reap harvest. You know, like, that's it. You know, like, I want to put good in and get good out. And I don't want to be around the bad or the ill or the, you know, I just don't. Does some shit trigger me? Yes. The smell of Terrible in General triggers me. I could throw up as soon as I walk in the door, right? I've had no choice but to face those things because that's where my parents go. You know, I didn't have no choice. And I was taking care of my mama. How I'm going to be like, oh, I'm not going there. It triggers me. That's where they are. So you know who had to sit in the trigger? Me. You know who had to sit there and realize like what I can control and what I can't, and you know, me, and not it, and be okay with the people around me not getting it.
It sucks they have to deal with that, but it's truly the best way to heal.
Yeah.
Forward from it too. You know what I mean?
Some days I can sit, and some days I can't. That took me that has just happened in the last year or so. Like me saying no. I've never ever been able to do that. I've never said it. I've always, you know, been guilted into saying yes. I've always, you know, put everybody else's needs before my own. And now, for the first time in probably a very long time, I'm saying no. I don't want to.
How you feel saying no?
It's hard.
Have you ever thought of it like in the perspective as like, if you're not 100%, like you can't give other people 100%
yeah.
of you, you know?
Well, I don't want my friends to like carry the load that.
Share the fucking load.
Yeah.
Share the load.
Now we are. Now,
you know?
Now
put that all on you.
Now we're all on this journey, if you will, and being honest about what we want to take part in and don't anymore. And for so long I've tried to like not bear it all, if you will, but you know, people look at me, in fact, on my comments on my pictures, and you know, people will be like, you're so tough, you're one of the strongest people I know, you know. Meanwhile, I feel in shambles. Meanwhile, I feel like I am fucking broken, you know.
You know, Bun, that's something I realized that you gain as you become more self-aware. Like the more you know about yourself, the little triggers, you know, that you want to avoid.
I'm learning.
Certain people you don't want to be around with anymore.
Yeah.
Like you're like, I'm not. And you know what I'm saying? But
the harsh reality be some more times than not would be the people that's around you.
Yeah, look, cut them motherfuckers off.
Closest to you. Yeah.
Cut them off. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know? Family or not, like love. You can love
people
from a distance.
Listen, you know? that is. If I have learned anything since Ida, it's that you can love people from a distance. I don't.
And look, and the more you practice saying no and you being okay with it, the better you're gonna be with it. Just like
I know
anything else, the more you do it.
Weird though. It's weird though, because it's just not what it's new for sure. It's new for sure.
Say no with a fucking smile.
But I'm saying no. I'm saying no. Ain't got that smile though. Baby, when you can say no with that one, shit. That's saying no for real. Being comfortable with saying no, but I'm learning. You know, and
it's a journey for sure.
Yeah, it's a journey for sure. In fact, I posted that on Facebook today. Like, once I get comfortable in front of this camera, it's over with, because it is. Right? That's been the dilemma, right? Is me being comfortable in front of it.
How you feeling right now?
Right now I'm good. Now I'm gonna probably rewatch this and be like, oh my God, I need a filter.
No, absolutely. Look, you know what? Like in a sense, sometimes we may think that about ourselves, but then somebody else is gonna be like, "Oh my God, you did so good! Like you look like a natural." That self-talk.
This is happening. This is already done. This is me walking in it. Earlier when I first got here, I was like, I feel like I'm gonna need a filter, and Kayla was like, I don't think anything is filtered on his channel, like cursing and stuff. I was like, no, I meant like a filter, like that's what has held me, is my own self-criticism of me seeing myself on camera and seeing all the things. And I was like, oh no, because all I could see like what was wrong with me, swear. So I'm working on it. I leaped today. My car seat, the seat in my car was getting a time today, believe one thing. And I recorded it for Facebook to see, so it can't be none but up from here, right? I've been running from it for a long time.
For too long.
I have. So yeah, a little unstable, maybe crazy, no. A little, loop-de-loop, maybe.
I think everybody has that.
Yeah, everybody does.
Look, earlier I would record a podcast with this couple, and I asked him about his internal dialogue. Basically, I said, "Man, like the voices in your head, like you hear voices, and like I swear both of them, like kind of like, what the fuck is Mo talking about? He hears voices. He might be crazy."
But no, not like crazy voices, but like
it's just the internal dialogue.
Yeah. And you know what's so crazy is I ended up in Tennessee. In so many days, I wanted to like just go to the park and like meet people. Like I was even gonna do like, like got the free hug people. Like if you're struggling, I literally like wanted to like set up a booth or something, like just to like encourage people, because I know. The world is heavy, especially like even now, like post-COVID, like we in a whole different, the world is just not what it was before.
Crazy, because look, around the hurricane, that was whenever like I had my big awakening.
Yeah.
And things shifted big time from then. And like things continually just keeps on shifting, It's an amazing feeling, truly.
I know.
But it's sad because look, people that used to know me or think they know me now, like really don't know me at all. And conversations with people, like it's hard for me to have conversations with regular people.
For me, like I just came to a point to where I realized like the people that I am talking to, some of them are not even capable of understanding or even tapping into anything that I'm talking about. So I'll just save my breath, because some people just aren't even capable, aren't that open-minded even to even, explore. Some people just have accepted who they are and that's who I am. And this is what I've been through and that's why I'm like I am. No, I want to be like greater than what has happened. I've had to have this reality with some people near and dear to me. They aren't even capable of understanding. But I'm okay with that, and I understand that with elevation comes separation. I understand that. I understand like what's meant for you is not necessarily meant for everybody attached to you. I understand that. I understand that sometimes where the Lord is taking you, everybody can't come. I understand that too.
I appreciate you opening up on here.
Yeah,
really
I appreciate you for having me.
Picture everything happening just the way you want it to happen.
That I wanted to? Okay.
Just the way you want it to happen. Ring. Hey, Bun, what's happening?
So
it's been 6 months since we did the podcast. What kind of changed for you? What's been happening?
I have my own podcast. You can follow me on YouTube as well, where you will see the video coverage of said podcast. Talk Ugly is a brand. The merch is available. The link is in my bio. I have so-and-so scheduled this week, and this week. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you got to be moving forward. You taking some steps.
I'm moving forward. I'm definitely moving forward.
No,
in fact, I look forward to it being raw. I look forward to it like real life, who are real life choosing to do better. It's a choice you make every single day. Who are choosing not to stay stagnant, you know? And that comes from the girl who a couple of months ago was stagnant, was in a rut and did not see a way. I did not. Look at this. And I've already like worked like 2 months at the boat. Like, girl, shit's happening quick.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
On the way up, huh?
Yeah.
On the way up to the mountaintop.
I'm looking forward to the view when I get there for sure.
Look, I'm happy to hear that. And if you ever need a guest on your podcast,
dude, you're like you're up there. You're up there. Because again, this would not be without you. This would not be without Kayla. Again, none of it by accident. The fact that it turns out we know so many of the same people and didn't even like it's just crazy. You know, it's wild.
Connected.
It's not fun. It's never for nothing. I can't believe that I actually am gonna like embark. But I'm gonna embark. I literally ripped the Band-Aid off today when I put post on me singing and I can't sing. And so you should go listen to them when you go. Where I
sing it a little bit for me. Sing a little bit for me. So I can kind of know what it sounds like.
I am not singing.
What? Dude, you did it. You did it earlier.
So it's posted. You can find it on. It's Kristen Bun Thibodeau on Facebook.
Bun, come on, just quick little tune.
I was in the moment. I like caught a beat. It was like literally like giving my car the seat in the car a time. Really?
Crazy. Giving the seat in the car a time. Huh?
Yeah, but I appreciate you so much, so
appreciate
much.
You too.
This is the beginning of something epic, you know.
I know it is.
Bun and Mo show. That's got like a ring. That's got like a.
We can do that too. It looks okay.
Fix your hair, yeah. Your hair looks excellent.
Thank you. I fixed it for you today.
You use gel, huh?
I'd be jealous. You take a picture?
Bro, this looks incredible. Thank you.
Wait, you didn't even let me smile.
Yeah, go fix your hair. Best smile ever, swear. Best smile fucking ever.
You're awesome. Thank you.
I love you. Thank you so much for having me, bro.
Thank you.